Hey everyone, welcome back to Vote and Voice. Let me start with a simple question. When was the last time you changed your political opinion because of a well researched article? Now compare that to this. When was the last time you saw a post, a clip, or a tweet that made you feel something immediately? Maybe it made you annoyed, or agree instantly, or think, yeah, that's exactly right. That difference right there is what this episode is about. So, we've changed a lot throughout the years, and social media itself hasn't just changed how we get information or how we spread it and share, but it's changed how our ideas spread from different views to another, how fast they spread, and what actually sticks in people's minds. And the key word here is narratives. Not facts, not full arguments, but narratives. A narrative is basically a simple story that explains what's going on. It tells you who's right, who's wrong, and what's at stake and what's the most important thing to talk about. And on social media, the simpler the story, the better it performs. Now these social media platforms don't sit here thinking, "Oh, let's promote the most accurate political content today." No, it's built for information pollution where it's built more about maximize engagement through clicks, likes, shares, comments, follows, or how popular they are. It's not based on true facts. So, what kind of content gets the most engagement? Usually, it's the content that's emotional, clear, and slightly extreme. Not always wrong, but very rarely not nuanced. So, let's take a real example. During elections in the United States, you'll often see short clips go viral. Maybe it's a politician making a strong statement or a moment taken slightly out of context. That clip spreads way faster than a full 1 hour debate. Why? Because it's easier to process and it fits into a quick narrative. Same thing during Brexit. Instead of long economic discussions about trade policy, a lot of the messaging online was simplified into things like take back control and more sovereignty of economic decisions and strong nationalism. That phrase is a perfect example of a narrative. It's short, it's clear, and immediately tells you what side you're on. Now, here's the part that people don't always realize. You're just not consuming it through social media, but you're also being filtered into certain types of content because algorithms track what you watch, what you like, and what you pause on. So there's a lack of privacy. And over time, they start showing you more of the same. So if you lean one way politically, even slightly, your feed can slowly become more one-sided. Not because there's nothing else out there, but because the platform is trying to keep you engaged. Like you'll see, this is what people mean when they talk about echo chambers. You're hearing the same types of arguments, the same tone, the same conclusions, just from slightly different accounts. And after a while, it can start to feel like everyone agrees with you, or they have to agree with you in a sense. So they're like manipulative until you talk to someone in real life and realize, no, that's not true. And another piece of this is how fast narratives can form. So in the past, it might take days or weeks for a political story to fully develop, but now it can happen in just hours or hell, even minutes when a big news happens. And when that happens, a clip gets posted, people react, it's a viral video, and within a day, there's already a dominant narrative around it before all the details are even clear. You saw this during COVID-19, where different narratives about public health, vaccines, and government policies spread rapidly online. You also see it with conspiracy movements and conspiracy theories and misinformation. And now not every viral idea is a conspiracy, but social media does make it easier for those types of narratives to spread, especially when they're framed in a way that feels like the hidden truth or what they don't want you to know. That kind of framing is extremely effective online. So, where does this leave us? So, social media isn't a tool for communication, but more an public environment that shapes political reality. and it rewards clarity over complexity, speed over accuracy, emotion over nuance. And it shows how misleading social media can be in that way. But of course, there is still a lot of useful information out there. But it does not mean the structure of these platforms naturally pushes political conversations in a certain direction. It's more simplified, more emotional, and even more divided. So here's something to talk about. The next time you see a political post that feels very obvious, very clear, very satisfying, it might be worth asking, is this the full picture or just a really effective narrative? In the next episode, we're going to shift slightly and look at conspiracy movements more directly, how they perform, why they spread, and why they become more visible in modern politics. Thank you for listening to Vote and Voice.